GM friends, thanks for joining DeFi-Logic Symposium Sunday, every Sunday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. As a member of our Discord server, you can join our call every week. Link is in the description below. In today's community call, we'll review Trump versus Harris, the future of cryptocurrency with Obrizi and Pepe, upcoming election in Bitcoin with GeForce, and an analysis of Banana Gun, as well as their token Banana. So to get us started, we'll bring up Obrizi and Pepe to take a look at Trump versus Harris.
Right, so let's go ahead and cover Harris first, since it's short and sweet. But so her staffers are trying to break free from her current administration's anti-crypto stances. They've been reaching out to exchanges and large crypto organizations, and she was given the opportunity to speak at this latest Bitcoin convention, but she rejected it. Her current administration, the Biden-Harris administration, is trying to put a 30% tax on mining. Harris was given the opportunity to speak, snub the Bitcoin convention. So I think what this looks like is, despite her staffers and a lot of the DNC trying to push towards a more laxed or embracing stance towards crypto, she's just standoffish, especially seeing as she considers crypto money for criminals. On the Trump side of things, Trump, despite comments many years ago, seems to have fully embraced crypto. That may have to do with the sheer amount of the American population that has had exposure to crypto. But there's a million Trump meme coins out there. His family launched a meme coin. He's raised $3.5 million for his campaign cycle in crypto currently. But going on to his major points that he made, I would say the first one, the biggest one in my opinion, is ending Operation Checkpoint 2.0. So trying to stop the institutional targeting of making cryptocurrency less effective, harder to use. So the three-letter organizations of the federal government and trying to put pressure on the Federal Reserve to stop halting fiat on and off ramps for crypto. Another big thing that he said, and this is my favorite, especially if you've been following along with our other articles, is day one he plans to fire Gary Gensler and replace him with a pro-crypto individual. So that's a pretty big thing in my book. He does say that there will, as long as he's president, there's not going to be a CBDC, which is good. We don't want to centralized currency in the crypto market. And yeah, I think those were the three major ones from his keynote speech. That said, if you listen to all of his speeches right now, he is promising everything possible to everyone. But there is something to remember. Day one, the things that he was talking about in the last election that he was going to do day one, especially towards ISIS. Day one, I'm going to do this. Day one, I'm going to do this. Day one, before he even sat in his chair, there was a big production about it. They took pictures and video of it. Before he even sat in the chair in the Oval Office, he signed those executive orders that had more drone strikes go out. So something to be said there.
Yeah, 100%. I'm definitely not a Trump supporter this go around at all. I'm not happy with a lot of the things. Like you said, it's just like pander session and everybody's like, yeah. It just keeps getting more and more ridiculous. I don't really want to move outside of the realm of crypto, but you can see it with different things that he's saying. He's not even talking about qualified immunity in some recent speech, but he was talking about federal immunity. I don't even know what that is. I've never even heard of that, but some sort of federal immunity that law enforcement can basically be protected by the federal government or something. I have no idea. I don't know if you've heard of that, Obrizi, but so they can do their job. Okay.
Yeah, definitely a big game of promising everything to everybody, but he's putting on a show about it. I think between the two, natively, he is going to be much more predisposed to embracing crypto than Harris, just because he's coming from a business background and he's coming from a prosecutorial background.
And yeah, he made money in crypto. Let's not forget. So he likes it. He had his Trump NFTs. They did really well. So to pretend, that's proof in the pudding that he does want something different. And the fact that we're going to get rid of Gensler, that's the thing that we want to hear in the space. And I don't even think it's necessarily just crypto. I think Gensler's just been a mess for the SEC for a long time. Yep. For outside of crypto as well. He just caused a lot of problems. It's not to say he hasn't done anything good, but if we're going to tip the scales in the direction that's logical, he's done a lot, way less good than detrimental for the space and for us as Americans to be competitive globally.
Yep. That's a very big power grab on their behalf.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens this next election. I don't want to make any predictions now, but I think anybody with a brain can see where it's going, just with all the private money that's going to flow over to Trump and not so much over to Kamala Harris. But we'll see. You never know.
I don't know. It looks like they have a good strategy of they let him talk, and as long as they're not saying as much of the stupid stuff as Trump or JD is, making them look good.
That's true. That's definitely true. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of geopolitics going on right now that could sway the U.S. election for sure, depending on how certain outcomes come to fruition. In terms of developments in specifically the Middle East, I would say most of all, but that all can impact crypto. One thing I want to say is never forget that if there's an invasion or a war that starts, don't panic sell. This is a side note, but just don't panic sell, dude. That shit corrects within an hour usually. And then you're left with a bad entry on previous positions because you just were like, oh my God, it's going to tank, and you can't hold on to your position for an hour. So nice little financial advice, but
also depends on how big the economy is of the country being invaded or going to war. Because in case you remember, what is the hedge against the devaluation of a dollar or of a fiat in those types of situations? So you're trying to get your money out of that fiat, something that's going to be more stable.
Yeah.
So that's why we saw that with Russia.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, that came back with, if I remember correctly, within 45 minutes, it was back to the same price that it was before the Russian invasion was announced on mainstream media. So, yeah, just, be conscious of that and take what we're saying with a grain of salt. It's not financial advice, but just some insight that you can check historically what happens with invasions and combat situations the world over. But I think that's pretty much it from us.
Thank you, Jen. We did have a couple write-ups in the Discord this week revolving around this topic. And next up, we'll bring up GeForce. GeForce has a report in the server in our Discord with the viewpoint a little bit. Looking forward to hearing what he has to say regarding legacy markets and the upcoming elections and BIC. So GeForce, I'll hand it over to you.
Stock Saturday's article was legacy markets, crypto markets, and crypto president. Like we talked about, Trump is really endorsing crypto now, and being at the crypto conference, the Bitcoin conference over the weekend, he's all in on that. So this article is more of a step back from that and looking at an overall view. Why would he endorse Bitcoin and crypto markets and then being the president at the same time of the United States? And because it looks like it's a conflict between him being the president and the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank and the control over the whole financial global system. Basically, I just threw in some background. And first of all, the Federal Reserve Bank, if you guys don't know, controls U.S. currency, and it's an independent entity from the U.S. government. So there is a banking cartel. They've always been a banking cartel since they were formed in 1913. And they are independent of the U.S. government. So they have the arrangement with the U.S. government to print the U.S. dollars, which is our Federal Reserve notes, not U.S.-backed government notes, but Federal Reserve notes. Now, Trump did do an executive order of 3771, which was about not quite a year before he left. So it's just under a year that he left office, that placed the Federal Reserve under the Treasury, the Department of Treasury, which is the aiming to reduce the autonomy of the Federal Reserve Bank. The Federal Reserve Bank wasn't too happy with that, and he's got basically some issues that happened ever since, legal issues, all kinds of issues since he made that executive order. So looking at the crypto markets and what Bitcoin did after endorsement, I'm going to go over to charts. There's also the same chart in this article. But if you look at Bitcoin, basically after he accepted the Republican nomination, which was Thursday, the 18th, Friday, the 19th, Bitcoin popped pretty good, over 2,700 points. It's climbed up to some recent highs, basically at 68,181 and it's climbed back down. I have this long time level here of 65,500. This has been long, and it's gone long ever since. It's climbing a little bit now after the conference, but the day of the conference I was speaking, which was this last Saturday, the 27th, we hit a high of 69,481. Now, if you look at legacy markets, what's happened since Trump was nominated for the presidential Republican ticket, legacy markets have just dropped, okay? One reason why I feel that legacies have dropped is that since Biden has also dropped out of the race, and now we had Kamala Harris, like Obrizi and Pepe was talking about, the economy is still an issue, but not much of an issue anymore. So this, what I feel all the way back here in May, all this upside was basically Federal Reserve pumping the markets up. Now that that's not an issue anymore, that they don't need that because they're not going to run on Biden economic or Biden, things have faded out. Now there's other issues like I is not as pumping like it used to into the markets as far as the hype, but things are dropping. So we went to all-time highs, all this going up since June, May, June, July, all-time highs, and then now all of a sudden we're dropping all the way back down to 5,400. Basically, it indicates that the economy is not the number one issue of the election. Now it's Harris and Trump. So that's where legacies have been dropping, because legacy markets do not like uncertainty. And now we have major uncertainty with Biden dropping out and Harris coming in, major uncertainty in the legacy markets, and they do not like that. Also going on, we do still have inflation. Okay, inflation seems to be going down a little bit, or at least softening. The last economic news is that things are actually starting to drop. Prices are starting to drop. Demand is starting to drop a little bit. But here's the problem with that. Inflation, you don't know you've beaten it until you get 2 quarters into where the inflation numbers are starting to drop. So if the Federal Reserve cuts, which they think they're going to do, cut the rates in September, which would help the incumbent, which would have been Biden, but now Harris, the incumbent party, I think that could be an issue because inflation could pop its ugly head again after a cut. This is interesting to see if the Federal Reserve is going to cut in September. And if they do, are they going to cut again? And if they do it once and they do it twice, is inflation going to bounce back up again? That's what you don't want. You do not want to have cutting rates, inflation pop back up, and then you have to start raising rates again. So that makes the Federal Reserve look ridiculous, which can be, and that could happen to them. I hate to see it happen because it would affect the economy and affect us in a grocery store and the gas stations and things of that nature. But the election now featuring VP Harris adds a lot of uncertainty to the legacy markets, and we'll also see how Trump does with being the crypto president. So we'll see from here, and I think the crypto markets are going to embrace his endorsement and just climb higher. All right, that's it I have right now. Okay, Christine, over back to you.
If you did enjoy our content, give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more crypto, trading, and overall market content. Next up is an analysis of Banana, a brand new Telegram bot everyone has eyes on, and the token Banana. I'll bring up Trill, and this is a recent listing on Binance. Banana, it launched on July 20th at a price of 40, and on the same day it hit an all-time high of 70. Pretty amazing. So I'm looking forward to Trill and your write-up on Banana.
Banana Gun at the moment is a Telegram trading bot. They do have plans to provide more functionality such as web apps and mobile apps, but at least for the time being, it's a Telegram bot that allows new and experienced traders to trade tokens on Ethereum. It has multiple features such as auto sniping, private transaction, scam, honeypot protection, regular dexes and things like that, but also block reorganization. Another important thing of at least the native token Banana, there is no buy, sell, or transfer tax of the token. Currently, there's a a little over 3 million tokens. That's a little over 32% of the total supply, but that's the circulating supply. And as far as, I guess, an interesting feature I can mention is banana bonus. It's tied into just using a platform in which basically you just 8 tokens using banana, and you get rewarded based on the amount of tokens that you're buying and things like that. And that further goes into this concept that they have called banana ecosystem, where they basically turn users of banana bot into holders of banana. And then with banana, you can earn rewards. And I'll also be showing my screen on that. This is just a little bit more of a description of some of the features that I mentioned: anti-rug and reorg, auto sniping, things like that. As far as the auto sniping, yeah, these are just the list of the parameters that you can set as far as the tokens that you're looking for. An interesting thing is, on top of all the functionality, you can do everything manually, and you have the ability to turn all these off. It's really up to you. But yeah, if you want to be that, they have something called degen mode, where if you really want to, you become a degen and you can turn all this off and just trade whatever tokens you feel like. What was mentioned? This is the reward platform. This is like the reward dashboard. This is like the only web dashboard, like I said, at the moment, because they do have plans to go and provide web app. Do have the Telegram. This is the Telegram GUI. Looks like most Telegram bots, because it's in Telegram, so it has to go based off the Telegram code. You have the dashboard, and to earn rewards from the banana ecosystem, you have to hold at least 50 banana. Likely goes into the price fluctuation that Christine mentioned when it was first debuted, as the project itself has been around since about July 2023, so June 2023, so a little over a year in longevity. But as far as the features that they have yet, not too many. But with the year longevity, they have the time to build up the hype that they currently have now. This is just the tokenomics. This would equal 100, as I mentioned. They have 32, a little over 32% of the total supply. And this is just the treasury and team blockage. As far as the members of the team, it's anonymous, or at least explicitly stated, and they do plan on adding more burn functionality for the token, but that has been yet to be said. I mentioned banana bonus, and the team recognizes all the bonuses or the rewards systems that they, as I've mentioned, so they recognize that they think the thought of sell pressure because of just handing stuff out. But these are their combative measures for sell pressure, such as buy for the treasury, volume-based rewards for the ape to earn, and like I said, the unmentioned, at least soon to be mentioned, more burn functionality. But as far as anything else to mention on Banana Gun, that's about it. Like I said, they do have plans to go into the web and then mobile app, and from there they will have more competition. As far as the Telegram trading bots, they are top 2 and only taken out by Pal AI. Yeah, these are just some notable milestones. 5 billion as far as total trading volume, and like I said, this would be July, a little over a year, or June actually, a little over a year, and then a good amount of lifetime users.
So Trill's write-up will be in our Discord. This is also one that I definitely am going to keep an eye on. It's been a minute since I've seen Twitter or tweets come out saying that people will get tattoos of bananas on their forehead if banana hits a certain price. So fun to see those tweets come out. It's been a minute since I've seen people get excited about token like this. So I'll be keeping an eye on it. And if you'd like to read the report, it'll be in the Discord. And that's it for this week. Join our server now. Early members get free server access for life and future discounts on additional products and services. See you next Symposium Sunday. GN friends.
Join us next week in Discord for Symposium Sunday at DeFi-Logic.com.